Hi everyone, and welcome back to Happy Place Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to make some coasters using just ordinary paper. Now this is like a craft paper. It's a fairly thick paper, but you can use contact paper, you can use gift wrap, you can use any type of paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of resin on the bottom, and we're going to let that somewhat cure, not fully cure because we want it somewhat sticky. And then we're going to put the paper down, and then we're going to smooth it down so that it sticks nice. And then we're going to let it finish curing, and then we're going to come back and put a top layer, and then we'll have our coasters. Now we have two choices. One, we can either do our edge now, this is what I'm talking about. Here's the edge. We can either color that now, or we can color it after. So I'm undecided what I want to do now. If we were to take mica powder and paint the edge now, it will set into the resin and it would be permanent. Where if we take it and we color it after, it won't be set in resin. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let me think about what I want to use for a color. Now I'm not sure if I want to use black or gold. So I think maybe we're going to use probably the gold, because I might want to use a gold backing. So let me just grab some gold mica powder, and I shall be right back. Now I have decided to go with this sparkled gold by this company. I always have a hard time with the name, but this is the color I'm going to go with, and I'm just going to color the edge. Just to give it some color. And then I will use the same mica powder to color the bottom. And I will do this for all 4 coasters. Isn't that a beautiful gold? I mean, I might get a little bit, see, this on the inside, but that's all right. In fact, I probably could just color the whole thing. And I think that would look good too. My dogs are roughhousing. So how is everyone today? I'd like to thank my subscribers and welcome my new subscribers. Not a pretty color. It is. Just want to try to cover everything. I'm sure I'm going to have some brush strokes, but that's what happens when you're using a brush. Now you saw me do this one. Now I will do the rest of them, but I will do them in a fast forward fashion. And then I will mix up some resin, and then I will be back with you for the next step. And then I just take this one and take off the excess, which apparently I didn't have much of. But now I will move on to the next three, and I will do those. And I have our resin all mixed up. I used my new resin mixer and my new Let's Resin bubble remover. And it looks pretty good. Now I'm using this resin. And I'm very happy with that resin. Now, I've already powdered it, but I'm still going to put some of this into the resin itself. Just because I have some brush marks. They may still show up, but I just want to be cautious. Oops, might help I put the spoon the right direction. So I'm just going to put a couple of scoops in there. And going to mix that up, and then we're going to put a little bit, enough to cover the bottom of each one. And then we're going to let it cure a little bit. Isn't that beautiful? I love that color. Go. And now I'm just going to put enough in there where I feel it's going to enough to cover the bottom, because we still need to put this paper in, and we still need to put a clear coat on the top. That's why I painted the sides, so that we'd have a gold side, which is kind of going to match the hearts. So I'm just going to put a light coat. Just enough to cover the bottom. And then we'll spread it around. So that it will cover the bottom. And for me, I find the best way to do it is just to pick it up and let the resin, because we've already painted the sides, so if the resin goes up the side a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Nobody will see it. And it looks like I made up a little bit too much, but that's fine. Trust me, I'll find some place to put it. We're going to put a little bit more into this one. And I'm probably going to put a little bit more in each one, because we still have a little bit of play here, a little bit of space to play with on each one. I just don't want to put in too much. I just want enough to cover the bottom, really. And resin is self-leveling. Now that we've spread it around, then I know what we have for space, and I'm not going any higher. So what little bit I have left, I will find something to do with it. Now, as soon as these have cured to touch, but sticky, then I'll be back and we'll put in the paper and we will pour our top coat. So I shall see you soon. Hi everyone, it's time to add the paper. Now, I got caught up in a movie, so I let this sit a little bit too long. So what I've had to do is I've had to add a little bit of this tack it over and over to the top, and I've let that dry so that now it's tacky, so that the paper will stick. So now it's time to add the paper. And I gotta make sure I got the right one. For the mold. Now it looks like I cut that one a little bit off, but we're gonna go with it. And I'm just pressing it down so it's gonna stick. Is all I'm doing right now. And you want to make sure you get all the air out, because you don't want to have any air bubbles underneath. So really you want to press from the center and work your way out. And if it looks like it needs a little bit of a trim, just pop it up and trim it off. If you can get a hold of it, and I can't, so I thought I had it. Well, I guess I'm not getting it off. So that one is staying the way it is. I mean, it's there, but I just didn't like this, but that's okay. And I also had enough to make a bookmark, but that one has to be filled with UV resin instead. Excuse me a moment. Alrighty, I just wanted to make sure I was on the right microphone. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. Now this one looks like it's going to fit a little better than the first one. So I'm just setting it down and just flattening it out so that it's sticking. And I can tell already we're going to have some gold in our clear, but that's okay. It just adds to the design, I should say. Because remember, we did the edge, and that has some mica-powder that's not stuck in the resin already, so there's still some loose powder. And loose powder will float. So I'm just checking the edge here, and then I'm going to do my little circle to the outside and release any air that may be under there. Now you don't have to do the whole coaster. You could do a half and a half. You could cut out a design. I can do that in another tutorial if you'd like. So I am just going to set it in. I did cut these by hand. I didn't use my Cricut, which I should have. But so I'm just making sure I have no air in here. And you can do this to match any decor you have, or any holiday, or even a baby shower, if you want to give these as gifts at a baby shower. You can add little baby shower trinkets, like it's a girl or it's a boy, or you could add names, you know, like a baby for a gift. If they happen to know the name of the child before it's born and you want to have something for them. Alrighty, now I'm just going to move these aside, and we're going to do the bookmark before I mix up some resin for the coasters. So I'm just going to show you how we're going to do the bookmark, because this has already been stuck down. So you just want to get out your whatever UV you're going to use. I've got to make sure it's plugged in and turned on, I should say. There we go. And then you want to grab whatever UV resin you're going to use, and my choice is the High Viscosity by Let's Resin. Now the back of this is very nice, so I don't have to add anything to the back. And then you just want to give a good coat, not excessive, you just want to give it a good coat. And I always like to go to my edges first and then fill in the middle later. That way I don't have as far to pull. And then you want to take your item of choice and you just want to pull it to the edges. See, this is why I go close to the edge. And then as I'm going up, I then fill in my center, any areas that aren't covered. And then you just pull to the edge. Now with the high viscosity, it won't go over the edge unless you force it to go over the edge. You just want to pull it to the edge. And then go back from time to time and double check your edges. Now once you're done your piece completely and it seems to be pulling away from the edge, that means you don't have enough resin. So just add a little bit more. Because resin is self-leveling, but if it doesn't have enough to cover the area, it will pull. And I take my time, I don't force it. There's no hurry. UV resin will not cure until you put the light to it. So there's plenty of time. And I try to do the whole area last, just for the simple reason is the resin could fall into the hole if you overabundant it. Now see, there's a bubble right there. I'm going to get rid of it while I'm right here. Now I've gone my edges and I'm just double checking to make sure I've covered them all. Now see, there's a little area here, but that happens. I mean, and now I'm going to pull to the top. Just to keep around my hole, because you want to reinforce it, especially if you plan on putting a tassel. And then I just bring the two sides together. And this is where it can get difficult. If you take your tool and you slide off, that's giving the resin a lead. A path, I should say. A path to follow. And we don't want to do that. And that looks pretty good. I see some bubbles, but I'll get that with the lighter. And then you just want to put a little bit of fire, heat. You can use a lighter, or a torch like this, or you can use a long neck lighter, or you can even use a blow gun, a heat gun. Now I'm just gonna, when this lights to stay going, and I'm just putting a little bit of heat. You don't want to put too much, because then you're going to make it run. And then I check, and it's not done. You don't want to put too much heat in one area, because then you can fuse the resin, like I just did. Good example, right? See, you can see the areas where I kind of got it too close, but then I just go back and I mix that up and move it around. And then my other option is one of these, when this lights, and you just go across the top to get rid of any bubbles. With a torch, it's very hard to adjust the heat. Now see, if I keep procrastinating on this, I'm going to overheat this and then it's going to run. And we don't want that. But I do see a few bubbles here that just want to stay, and I don't want them there. So I'm going to go in and break them up myself. And there we go. Now I just caused a real big bubble right there. That could be coming up from underneath the paper. And then I just bring it to the surface and I pop it. There we go. And now if I'm happy with it, I got some bowls that have come to the top. I can get rid of those. And then we cure it. Oh, get another one up onto the paper. Look at that. There we go. That's because I stirred it up. And then we just cure it. And while this is curing, I will go mix up some resin for our coasters, and I will be right back. Alrighty, our bookmark is all done. And this is how it turned out. And I will probably add a black tassel. And there it is. There's the back and there's the front, and it matches our coasters. So I will set that aside and get ready to put our clear coat on the top of our coasters, and I'm just checking for air bubbles under our paper, and they feel pretty good. I can't guarantee we won't have some air bubbles, but I definitely will babysit these for a little while. But here's our clear resin, and I used my new mixing machine so I didn't have to hand mix it. And then I put it in the Let's Resin bubble machine. Did a spectacular job between the two of them. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of this crushed ice, I believe it's called. And you don't need very much of it. So we're just going to start out with a little tiny bit. Just enough to get it a little bit of shine. Just a little bit of shimmer. See, there we go. I'm hoping I mixed up enough. I only mixed up 4 ounces thinking we didn't have much room left. If so, I can just mix up some more. But here we go with our first one. Just gonna pour a little bit. And I'm gonna pour some in the second one, and then I'm gonna wait just a moment. I'm gonna tip it, spread it out. See if I need to add any more. I definitely need to get it to the sides. So I am just going to help it along a little bit. To see if I've added enough. And then I'll go around it and make sure I've got bubbles out. But I don't want to scrape it because I don't want to release my powder that I have around the edge. Look at that sparkle. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's just enough sparkle to add to the coaster. I think I got it all the way around. So I think I'm safe to go to the next one. But I'm going to check my levels before I go to the next one, because that doesn't look high enough yet. Hasn't even touched the top of the coaster yet. I think they're going to take more than I thought they would. So I will have to mix up a little bit more, because I wanted to dome them. I want to dome them. Can't get over how pretty those look, and how simple it is to match any decor. Yep, they're taking more than I thought they would. There we go, now we're starting to dome. On that one we are. I didn't think they were going to take more than an ounce, but I guess I was wrong. So I am them. Now they are domed. I'm going to go to the next one. But I will definitely have to make some more resin. And I can do that off camera. don't have to see me do this process over again. Now I'll just wipe out my cup and reuse this one. Yeah, there's not enough to even finish this one. So I will do the same process. Enough to top this one off, and then enough to do this last one, and then when it's time to demold, I will be back. So I shall see you soon. Well, our coasters have cured. However, when I was moving them, they kind of spilt over, so I can see some trimming I'm going to have to do. But let's get them out. There's not much of a reveal, but let's get them out and see what they look like. I'm curious to see how the bottom looks. Now see what I mean by a little bit of trimming I'm going to have to do. And I'm amazed at, I got to point this out. See the design in the center of each one? Each one is different. And I'm thinking that's because there's air underneath that paper. But it's kind of cool how each one of them has a different design. Alrighty, so let's... Now see, there is brush marks, but I am glad that I put the powder in the resin when I was pouring. And here's our gold edge from the powder. If I hadn't put the powder on, then we'd be able to see the clear layer. So I'm going to trim this off where this is still kind of soft. I'm going to use my tiny scissors. I'm just going to trim this off where it's still kind of soft, where we can still cut it. Oh, there goes my puppies. Must be a delivery or something on the TV sparking them up. And we just trim it like that, and then we can just take our emery board. I want my fine grit, and just trim it right down. So then we have a smooth edge. And that's all it takes. I mean, there is going to be a little area where you can see where I sanded. But because it was thick there, because that's where it went over. But I can fix that with my bigger sander. I can trim that right down. And that's what we took off. See, I have some spillover here. There was more. I already pulled it off the mat. There was a lot bigger pieces. But let's go to the next one. I know I got more to trim, so. And there's our bottom to that one. That one looks really nice. And again, there's more trimming that needs to be done. And I will do the same thing. But I probably will not use that this time. I will, obviously it will be off camera, but I will bring out my big sander and get this evened out. See, I'm scratching that with my scissors. So I probably will just forget trimming it and use my my table saw that I have, which I did make a video on. If you want to check back, it's called the Saker, S-A-K-E-R. I made a video on it. I will be using that to smooth these edges down. I don't currently have it set up. I have to pull it out and set it up, and that's what I'll be using to smooth these edges down. Yeah, definitely. But this is how they look on the top. But they did come out very nice, other than the fact when I moved it, they kind of spilled over. But nothing that can't be fixed. And let's see the bottom. That bottom looks pretty good. We do have some brush marks, which is what happens when you use a brush. And again, I'm going to trim around it. And you've seen me do that the last two, so I guess I don't have to show you that again. Oops, I got a piece on there. And the back of this one. We trim it from this side. Well, it's still scratching, but it's just trimming it off so I can get the sander out and finish my edges. And this is what happened when I moved it over to the heat mat. And then I'll get it out and I will smooth this all down. And I'll probably have to repaint it, which I will use one of my decorative pens. And I will give you some final pictures. So I will go now and I will proceed to fix these, and then I will get you some final pictures. It's kind of thick, this one. I'm going to need a bigger set of scissors. This is a little thicker than the other ones. And there we have it. They're all trimmed around. Let's see if I'm getting that trimmed down just a little more. I mean, I could have used my can't seem to find it. I must have been using it earlier. My cuticle cutter, my little one that I use, and I could have gone around with that versus the scissors, but where it's still very soft. So I am going to fix my edges up, and then I'm going to come back and give you a final demo of them and let you see how they came out. So I shall be back as soon as they are finished. Well, there you got to see me use my little mini table saw. As you saw, I unhooked all my attachments, but I left the guard in place to use the sander, and I went all the way around each one. And of course now I'm going to have to paint my edges, but first I'm just wiping all the dust off each one, and then I'm going to let them dry a little bit before I use my Deco Art Premium pen. That's what I'm going to go around the edge with to decorate my edge a little bit, where I first had put powder around the edge so I'd have a gold edge. But so I'm still going to have a gold edge, but it's just going to be painted on after with my Deco Art pen. And I will show you that shortly. I am just waiting for these to dry a little bit, and then I will show you how to do that. But I'm going to then let these dry before I handle them, because this does take a little bit to dry. So all you do is just take your Deco Art pen and just go around the edge. And it's best that you go in one direction. And you don't want to handle where you just painted, because you're going to get it all over your fingers, and then you're going to get it all over the coaster. And it doesn't hurt if you want to do like right on the edge, but you want to be very steady if you want to do that. So I'm going to do that after my edge has dried, because that works out best for me. So I'm just going to do around each of the edges. I'm so sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. I wasn't even paying attention. So I'm just going to do my edges. Every now and then I've got to prime my pen. And this is where I need to be careful, because I don't need the other edge touching the desk and rubbing off. So you do have an option of doing half and half, like doing one half and then the other half, because sometimes I get the shakes if my sugar gets too low. But this is all you do to go around it, just to give your edge some color and cover the fact that you have two layers. And there we go, I've gone all the way around. Now if you're steady enough, like I am sometimes, just put your edge like so. And I will do all 4 of these the same way, and then I will come back and show you the final results. See, I'm always sliding off the side because I get shaky. That's why I would like to wait until the sides have dried, to see what happens when I get the shakes, because my sides will get wider, and then I have to keep going around it till I can make it even. Or I can just wipe it off, like this example. Just wipe it off. Oop. And if it doesn't come off, just use a little bit of alcohol. Or you can use nail polish remover, and that will take it off. Because right now I don't have any nails, but and I'm risking wiping it off from the sides, but it is what it is. I'm just going to set this down. I get better results if it's sturdy. And I'm not leaving fingerprints. Apparently I touched it somewhere. Oh, doing it again. And then you just want to take your pen and finish, whoops, what you took off. I'm a little shaky today. So I probably will go and get some breakfast and then I'll come back and finish the rest. But this is how you do it. I'm gonna hold off. Gonna grab some breakfast. Then I'll finish these up and I'll come back and give you some photos. So I shall see you when they're all finished. Well, here they are, all finished. All around the sides and everything. And they're all ready to go. So I just wanted you to see and to finish up my video. I hope everyone's happy and healthy. I hope your crafts are turning out amazing. I hope everyone's having a blessed day or evening, whenever you're watching this. Please do visit my eBay store that's listed in the description. And I will see you in the next video.